subscribe below because this helps others to find us on YouTube. Today's lesson is lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. Let's read the lesson. In no situation that arises do you realize the outcome that would make you happy. Therefore, you have no guide to appropriate action and no way of judging the result. What you do is determined by your perception of the situation, and that perception is wrong. It is inevitable, then, that you will not serve your own best interests, yet they are your only goal in any situation which is correctly perceived. Otherwise, you will not recognize what they are. Let's talk about it. This is a lesson that I have really struggled with in the past. I'm a problem solver. I like to get a problem and I'll just chew on it. I'll research it. I'll do all kinds of things to try and figure it out. But in my own humanity, I have run up against many problems throughout my life. First, my father had a real serious problem with alcohol, and he had quite a temper. I thought that he should be different. I thought that he should be nicer. I really wanted him to show his love to me, and that never happened. My first marriage didn't work out so well. I really wanted it to. I really wanted my family to be happy. My children were not happy. I wasn't happy, and my first husband wasn't happy. I wanted it to work out, and it never did. My oldest son died. I didn't want him to die. I wanted both of my children to grow up to be healthy and happy, to have families, to have grandchildren. Still hard to talk about it with a little tear coming to the eye. But that didn't happen. Those are just a few examples. Looking back, I can see how all of these things have worked out for my good. Each of these events pushed me to connect with the God of my understanding, and that has been the most glorious treasure that anyone could ever find. I'm grateful for the treasure. I don't know that I'm grateful for the circumstances that brought me to it, but I do understand that I do not perceive my own best interests. If I could have changed any of those things, I would have at the time. However, today I have peace and acceptance around all of them. Let's read on. If you realize that you do not perceive your own best interests, you could be taught what they are. But in the presence of your conviction that you do know what they are, you cannot learn. The idea for today is a first step toward opening your mind so that learning can begin. If we think we know what's best, which I did for many years, our minds are shut closed like a steel trap. We are living in the world of the ego. But when we open our mind, even if it's just the slightest little crack, to the idea that maybe we don't know what's best for us, then God can step in. And when we follow God, then we are operating in our own best interests. Let's read on. The ideas for today require much more honesty than you are accustomed to using. A few subjects, honestly and carefully considered in each of the 5 practice periods which should be undertaken today, will be more helpful than a cursory examination of a large number. 2 minutes are suggested for each of the mind-searching periods which the exercises involve. Let's talk about it. More than half of today's lesson is talking about the practice periods. So we can only assume from this that the structure of the course is such that when we commit ourselves to doing these practice periods in the way that they're laid out, then we are going to reach the goal. We're going to reach the place where we experience true oneness with God and all of creation. That's salvation. That is peace, joy, and happiness. The first part of this paragraph is talking about honesty. We are not going to get anywhere if we can't be honest with ourselves. So let's start there. Ask yourself the question, looking back on your life, when have you not been able to perceive your own best interests? When have you thought that things should have gone in a different way, and now they've turned out to be absolutely for your good? The first thing that we're being asked to do in this paragraph is to take 2 minutes to just go through our mind and think about when we have not operated in our own best interests. The second part of this paragraph is that we are being asked to do 5 practice periods today. First thing in the morning, just before we go to sleep, and then at least 3 throughout the day. I like to set my watch or my phone so that I remember to do them. Let's read on. The practice periods should begin with repeating today's idea, followed by searching the mind with closed eyes for unresolved situations in which you are currently concerned. The emphasis should be on uncovering the outcome you want. You will quickly realize that you have a number of goals in mind as part of the desired outcome, and also that these goals are on different levels and often conflict. Let's talk about it. First, we start by repeating the idea in our mind, and then we close our eyes and just think about what goals do we have, and where do these goals have conflicting outcomes. The emphasis should be on covering the outcome we want. What do we want to have happen, and where do these outcomes conflict? The next paragraph is going to give us more information on exactly how we can do this. Let's read on. In applying the idea for today, name each situation that occurs to you, and then enumerate carefully as many goals that you would like to be met in its resolution. The form of each application should be as follows. In the situation involving blank, I would like blank to happen and blank to happen, and so on. Try to cover as many different outcomes as may honestly occur to you, even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation or even to be inherent in it at all. Let's talk about it. For example, let's imagine that I'm single and I'm looking for the perfect partner. By the way, I'm not. I have a wonderful husband. But this is a situation that I run up against with many people that are in my lives. I'm looking for the perfect partner. I'm looking for someone who is independent and yet fully available to me. I would like them to be financially independent and yet able to relax and enjoy life. I would like them to be physically fit and yet enjoy sitting and reading quietly. Can you see how these goals are conflicting? We often do this. In my counseling practice, I like to help people to see where we often have conflicting goals and we don't really know what's best for us. The point of this is to learn how to let go and let God direct our lives. Of course, we can have ideas in mind of what we're hoping for, but at the end of the day, we want to surrender our goals, our dreams, our aspirations to God. Let's finish the reading. If these exercises are done properly, you will quickly recognize that you are making a large number of demands of the situation which have nothing to do with it. You will also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory, that you have no unified outcome in mind, and that you must experience disappointment in connection with some of your goals, however the situation turns out. After covering the list of as many hoped-for goals as possible for each unresolved situation that crosses your mind, say to yourself, I do not perceive my own best interests in this situation, and go on to the next one. Let's talk about it. If we have the awareness that we are making a lot of demands on a situation, this will help us to surrender the outcome, to not hold on so tightly, or do what my husband always says, pay your bills and lower your expectations. Great advice as far as I'm concerned. Also recognize that many of your goals are contradictory. I don't know what's best for me. The best thing that I can do is to surrender my plans to God. Just to quickly recap, what is the plan for today? First of all, 5 practice periods. Second of all, 2 minutes for each. Thirdly, review in our minds what are our goals and what are our expected outcomes. What do we hope for? Fourthly, where are the conflicts? And fifthly, surrender them all to God. Thank you so much for listening until the very end. Are you ready for our special treat?
Lolita!
I do not perceive my own best interests. Surrender it all to God. Have a glorious day, my friends. I love you.